This will be from front to end. Once again, this is exactly what I do in every single loan signing appointment I do. Thank you for meeting with me today, Mr. Wells. Can I get an ID to get this party started?
Is it recording your mic too?
Thank you.
You're recording the screen, right?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. Okay, so what I tell everybody at the start of this process is this is about two things at this moment. This is about making sure the closing costs are exactly what you anticipated and the monthly payment. If any of the fees are wrong, we need to call your loan officer. If any of the thing with the mortgage payment's wrong, we need to call your loan officer. So let's start with the closing costs and make sure they're exactly what you anticipated. Okay? So starting up top here, this is what you're borrowing. Okay?
Okay, that's the total loan amount.
The new loan amount, that's correct. This here is simply interest through the end of month. So we're looking to fund this loan on 3/17. So this is going interest from 3/17 to 4/1. So once again, the April monthly payment you would have made, you're actually making through closing. So your first payment on the note will be 5/1.
Okay.
These are the fees from your lender, so make sure they're familiar. This is your underwriting fee. This is your processing fee. This is your loan doc fee. This is your appraisal. And this is your credit report. Those look familiar, I hope?
Yes.
Perfect. This loan's going to be impounded. You understand what that is?
I do.
Okay, so they need money set aside for your insurance and taxes. So this is a number that you're setting aside specifically for your insurance impound
That's
account.
my impound account, so all the money is going to go into there.
For taxes and insurance, that's correct. So once again, this is the money that you're setting aside for insurance,
Okay.
and this is the money you're setting aside for taxes. So those aren't fees per se, it's just your money you need to set aside to start your escrow account.
Okay.
Okay, so far so good.
Yep.
These two big numbers here, your title and escrow charges, escrow specifically, title insurance costs specifically. These are what I call admin fees, recording costs, and then your notary charge.
Okay.
Okay. This right here is what you're paying off. That look about right?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So you still owe interest for the rest of this month. So this is simply interest accrued on that payoff amount here. Okay. And then the current lender is paying, will need some money for a fax fee and a recording cost. So that's what those are there.
Okay.
Any questions?
Nope.
So it looks like your total money going through closing is short by $860. So that's what we need to close. And hopefully your loan officer already went over that with you.
He did.
Perfect. Sign here. And then I need you to sign Heather M. Will. So make sure I see the M in your signature, even if you don't sign like that. So a full Heather M. Will.
Got it. Okay.
So like what I just stated in the very beginning, there's only two things that are important in this process. It's making sure A, closing costs are exactly what you were told, and then B, your monthly payment. So if that looks right, I'm going to get your monthly payment out to make sure that is correct. So here is your note here. So follow me. So this is your note, also known as your contract. This is what you're borrowing. That looks right, what you already said, because we saw that on the closing statement. This is the interest rate. Is that correct?
That is.
Okay, that's your first payment, which is May, because April's interest is through closing, so your first payment's May 1st.
Okay.
Okay, this is your last payment here. So 46 minus 16 is how you know it's a 30-year term.
Okay.
Does that make sense? That's how you specifically know it's a 30-year fixed. Then they follow me on that, and then that's your principal and interest. But like we said, we're having an impound account. So this is the money you're setting aside for insurance. That's the money you're setting aside for taxes. So hopefully that's the total payment you were expecting today.
It was.
Perfect. Okay, since those are right, sign there for me.
Middle initial again?
Yes, everything's be full signature. And then every bank nowadays are very, very particular about your dates. So slow down and make sure your dates are extremely neat. Today is 3/12/16.
Okay.
So I was thinking about getting this thing. Take this with me.
It doesn't have to be
Perfect.
spelled out,
No,
right?
that's perfect. That's perfect. And once again, the signature page on the notes, full signature with the middle initial, and that requires a date.
When I start. And some muffins.
Perfect. So, like I said in the beginning, the two important things are closing costs and notes. Both of those you said were correct. Everything else in the stack kind of is what it is. They're disclosures, I mean. I'll kind of briefly go over them. Not quite as fine detail as I did the note and the closing statement, but everything else just kind of supports the first two documents. So with that being said, this is your payoff statement. We just need a signature approving the payoff numbers. These are the exact numbers that you saw on the closing statement. Full signature here.
Okay, so is that right?
Date here?
No date. Thank you for asking. So if you see the word date, we need date. If you do not see the word date, no, do not put a date.
Okay.
So this is the insurance information page. I need you to put your insurance information here, so put your insurance agent and your policy number, and then your phone number. If you don't know the policy number, just put your insurance agent's name and their phone number.
Okay. So let me look up the number.
That's wet. Make sure it's 160 pages.
And I do not know the policy number.
No worries, we have the phone, which is perfect.
Okay.
Punch your name, sign your name, put your phone number.
Okay.
Okay, I sent you 2 of them, but the last one is the one you really need because the other one's like definitions and stuff. That goes up important. So just do the first one, I would think. Can't you print at the office again?
So they need your loan information. The best part is we already have that here because you just signed off on the payoff. So lender name, what I'd like you to do is print the name of your current payoff company, which is SunWest Mortgage. So put SunWest Mortgage right
I don't
there.
remember. Yeah, I don't remember.
Maybe you go take your own paper, you ain't gotta pay for it.
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, approximate balance, put the 291,616.
291,616. Does it need the change?
No, it's just approximate balance is all we're looking for there.
Okay.
The loan number, we have the no number here, so follow me. It's 0503279510.
Mm-hmm.
And then they need a phone number, which we also have right here, which is 232-573-4291.
Okay.
Sign your name here, full signature, put your social security number, and make sure that everything is legible. So don't be in too big of a hurry. And then the forwarding address. The forwarding address is specifically where you'd like all the escrow documents mailed to. Put that
You
address
gotta
here.
need those eventually,
Okay.
but I think the loan one is the only one you're gonna need right now. No, that's not enough. No, it should be quicker because it's.
So this is a proceeds of disbursement page. The escrow company needs to know where to send the check. There's a little bit of money that you're going to get cash out on this deal. So you have 4 options. You can pick up the check at the escrow office. You can wire it. You can mail the check, or you can FedEx it. Which one would you like to choose?
I'll just go ahead and pick it up.
Perfect. Check that box there, and then full signature on the
I
bottom.
sent it, Steve. Yeah, go.
Do they
There's another
notify
one.
me when it's ready for
That's
pickup?
correct. They have someone who will call you from the escrow office.
Okay.
So this is saying that you have a 3-day rescission period. So initial here, saying you understand there's 3 days to cancel this loan if you need to. So initial here. And when you initial, I need HMW. So you need to initial all 3. So that's correct. And then full signature here, please. And then once again, the address you want to be mailed to, printed there.
Not the check, the other.
That's correct. So it's all going to the same address, just put whatever your mailing address is.
I need it down there.
So at some point, you should have said like it's okay for the escrow company to be your escrow company. So these are what they call generic general provisions. So the escrow company, just has to let you know what their responsibilities are throughout this course of this process. It kind of highlights what they do and do not do in a refinance transaction.
Okay.
So sign here for me.
And that's all in this document?
That's correct. And it's not, in theory, you could have picked your own escrow company, but they're just saying that these are the regulations that they have to abide by with closing out your escrow.
Okay.
So you kept this loan for 30 years. That's how much interest you pay over the life of the loan. Full signature here, please. And make sure the dates are legible. 3/12/16. Perfect. Okay, the 3's getting a little bit sloppy here, so they're really particular. So what I'm going to do actually is take a copy out of here and make you re-sign that because it's really easier just to err on the side of caution.
Wow.
Yeah, they're very particular. So don't
Can I
cross
change it?
cross that out.
Do you have whiteout?
No, we cannot white them out. We have to re-sign. So I usually like to switch it out. So sign here for me. So slow down. Make sure your dates are very perfect. So I've learned the hard way not to determine whether these duplicates are on accident or purpose. So this is an exact thing that we just signed. So it's in the stack. I always get it signed. Once again, that's the total amount of interest accrued over 30 years. If you keep this loan full signature, make sure your dates are very neat, please.
Very neat, please. Very neat, please. So he's got
Lenders are very particular these days. So
separate
just slow down. Perfect. Perfect. This is what they call an errors and omissions agreement. Just saying if there's any typographical errors, if we need a re-signing thing, you'll cooperate with the lender. Sign here, and once again, make sure your dates are very legible.
Sorry, that's not legible.
Yeah, man,
I gotta go through this
again.
one. Luckily, I made extra copies.
This is what they call an occupancy statement,
You know, I was thinking about
saying
that,
that your
like,
owner occupied, as you can see by the marked box that is marked.
Mhm.
Full signature date, once again,
Because
make
you
sure
go
your
to your
date's very
house.
neat.
You got to count on them having a credit card. But then I was thinking about a scanner too.
They got those portable ones.
Okay.
Huh?
You got the portable ones.
Yeah, but it's got
This
to
is
be
what they
probably
call a
longer.
signature affidavit, just saying your signature's
Yeah,
true and
because this
correct.
is half page.
Sign here, date
But the
here.
other pages, whatever page.
Like I said, I've learned the hard way not to determine whether these duplicates are on purpose or an accident. Just want to make sure everything is signed that they require. Sign there and dates. Also another signature affidavit.
Okay, so he's putting the affidavit stuff on one side that he's going to stamp with, and the other stuff
Oh,
is.
okay.
So there's a 3-day rescission period, but because we're signing over the weekend, you actually have 4 days because Sunday does not count as a rescission date.
Okay.
So I had to change the dates here to reflect the accurate dates. So initial here next to today's date, which is the 12th.
Full initials.
Thank you for asking. All 3 initials is correct. Initial right here to the 16th. So today is the 12th. You have until the 16th to cancel this loan.
Okay.
That's what you're initially. Sign there. Once again, put today's date. Very neat. 3/12/16. So once again, if it's in this stack, I get it signed. So if it looks like it's a duplicate, it's because it is. But once again, today is the 12th. You have until the 16th to cancel. Initial by the 12th.
So I want to make
Once
sure
again, I changed the date, so I have to get an
make sure I
initial.
get everything right.
Initial there.
Yeah, you-
And full signature there. So this is just the final copy of the loan application. So can't get a loan you don't apply for is what I tell people, but nonetheless they will make sure your loan application is signed. So sign right here for me and date.
Oh, nice. Official. Look at this.
Official, baby. It's good for 4 years too. So.
Nice. Top 10 things. No.
Initial right on the bottom.
Charles Schwab. is
Once
Scott
again, need your
Schwab.
threes to be a little bit neater, please. Just slow down.
Related.
Initial here, I apologize for sounding like a teacher, but if a funder has a bad day, they don't like a date, they'll kick that back.
I appreciate you going through everything in detail with me.
Full signature here.
Signature.
Once again, this is simply a loan application, goes over all your credit requirements that the lender needed to collect.
And date.
Yep. These are one of those funky pages that need a date and initial, so make sure your initial HMW.
Okay.
And sign there, date as well.
And what is this page?
This is the last page of the loan application. By default, it's 4 pages.
Okay.
Full signature there. So this is gives them permission to have a copy of your tax returns. As you can see here, this is requested tax returns. Sign here, date there. This just says you want all the statements mailed to the property address. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's an address affidavit.
Okay.
Sign here and date. So this is what they call an amortization schedule, which is all your payments over the next 15 years. I know, right? Sign there and date.
Wow.
This next page says you have the right to the appraisal. So as you can see here, it's an appraisal acknowledgement saying you have the right to
I
the
get the
loan
slow
officer.
people on
If you don't have a copy.
I got one sided job today. Guy wouldn't shut up.
I was there for 8 hours.
Guy wouldn't shut up. The lady wouldn't stop looking over the papers.
We read all of it.
Which I need you to be very
Twice.
careful when you're reading them. This just says you have a copy of all your disclosures. Sign here for me. So this is the deed of trust. This is what I call the king of it is what it is, because if you don't like the deed, we usually politely tell you to tell the county of San Diego. It's all publicly recorded. So the county tells you what you can and cannot do with it. That's the majority of this. Although there are two very important things that you want to make sure are correct as a buyer or homeowner. And that's making sure the name recorded on your own property is correct. You don't want any type of typographical errors. That looks correct here? Perfect. And the second most important thing is the lien. You obviously don't want the bank to record more against your house than you're borrowing.
Right.
So you want to make sure that lien amount recorded is accurate, and that's what that is here. So that's
That is
right?
correct. Yep.
Perfect. I'm not trying to tell you not to read your deed, Miss Wills. It just kind of is what it is, meaning that, the county records, it's all publicly recorded. You do have a copy of this in the copy set that I'm leaving you today.
It's just standard.
It's pretty standard boilerplate, correct? But the two important things, once again, is making sure your vesting is correct and your lien amount recorded. Make
Okay.
sense?
Yep.
Perfect. Sign here, once again, make sure the dates are legible.
He's got another. He's got another one with just the audio. It's the same thing. So it's just the same thing all the time. So
This says that you're not in a domestic partnership, so check the box here saying I'm not involved in a domestic
you're not married to a woman here.
Just that first box?
The first two,
Okay.
please.
You're not married to a
And then
woman,
full
right?
signature here.
That's why I hear domestic.
This is a privacy choice disclosure, as you can see. You want to make sure you check this box. Well, no, please do not share. No, please do not share my personal information. So assuming you don't want them to share that, check that and that.
That's correct.
And then sign there.
Okay.
I think this one is online.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it might not be the full one, it might be started, but I think the whole thing is online.
This is an impound account statement. Here, this just says
It
you
might
would
be
like to
choppy.
establish an
It might
impound
start a
account.
little
You
bit.
can read
I don't know
it.
if it's the full thing.
Sign there.
I don't need to.
No, it's already pre-checked. Thank you for asking. So yeah, the box I just checked is saying that you understand there is an impound account established on this loan. It's saying that you have to have insurance on the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's a requirement. Sign there and date.
You have to roll it if you get to this. You'll just go like, okay. First year, like, some questions, you're like, then after a while,
This states
Alright,
here
let's
that
get this
you have the
over with.
right to the appraisal. If you don't have a
Come on,
copy
let's
of
go.
that appraisal,
See you
you
stack
just
there, let's
ask your
go.
loan officer and they can kick one out to you.
Okay.
Sign there for me.
it's crazy to sign.
Yeah, because it has it on here. Like the closing fees, look.
This simply says that you have to pay
150.
interest the day the loan would funds.
then,
And once again,
like,
this is a per diem interest
I used to
disclosure.
make this up. So the origination
Sign here and
fee,
date for
I
me.
would do like 1,200 on here because I'd have to split it with my broker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whatever fee was right there, you'd have to split that.
This gives the bank permission to have a copy of your taxes, as well as to do your credit report, everything you should have asked them, they should have asked you permission to do before today.
Okay.
Sign here and date.
Yeah, but some of these will say like some to 300 a year for the notary fee. So that's the part. That's our fee right there.
This is the third time we've seen this one, but once again,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
in the stack, I did it signed. So once again, that's the amount of interest that accrues
But they have
over
to cut the
30
check.
years. Sign there and date.
After giving us, the title company cuts the check.
Oh,
300.
okay. Yeah.
Good thing I don't have a longer name.
I know. Ladies who hyphenate, it's right about now that they usually get frustrated that they put all 5 names on the loan papers. At some point, you should give them permission to use your social security number, simply an authorization to social form.
Okay.
Sign here, date there. So they pulled your credit report. This is the credit report they used to
Okay, so we got to take time
approve
with all
you.
those
That's what that is here.
transitions and actually
Signature there.
have it go in order or say something about each one of those slides.
Once again, make sure
So
you
if they
please be nice and
transition,
neat, please.
they will freaking still make sense when they're. You know
So you
what I mean?
stated earlier, you
Don't
understand what
make
an
it
impound
connected
account is. This
connections.
next
Say
page
something
simply
about that
shows you what
page.
that impound account looks like, how much money is going to be in that account each month. This is how it accrues on the right when they pay out your taxes and insurance respectively. Sign right here for me. This says if you miss any payments, it will negatively affect your credit.
Mm-hmm.
Full signature here and date for me. Date legibly, please.
I can tell you're not.
You're getting sloppy here.
Yep.
Once again, this says you have a copy of the appraisal. Even if you don't have a copy of appraisal, simply ask your loan officer and they can kick it out to you. Check this top box here.
Yeah, because you normally
Sign
pay
here
for
and
that. It's over here.
Just the top box.
That's correct. The top box says you do have a copy of the appraisal. Even if you don't, just ask. It's more of a formality. Like I said, 90% of this paperwork are things that just the bank needs to cover.
Oh, here's appraisal fee,
Their
right?
rear end to make sure it gets signed. So if you don't have a copy of it, just ask your loan officer. They can shoot that out to you. This says if you live in a flood zone, you have to have flood insurance. If you don't, nothing to worry about. Sign here and date, please.
And I would know by now if I lived in a flood zone.
Great question. That is correct. In theory, your insurance agent will let you know that.
Okay.
And the bank's just making sure that if you're found to be in the flood zone, that you have that flood insurance. It should be pretty obvious, but like I said, 90% of these paperwork are just kind of
Okay.
are what they are. This gives the bank permission once again to collect money for your taxes and then pay out your tax bill for you. Sign there and date.
I'm sorry, 23 minutes. That seemed like that long.
You know, some people I saw.
This just says that the impound account is
Some people have
required.
their house set up for signing,
Sign there and date.
so people can come over.
Oh, okay.
So you ain't gotta go nowhere.
It's required, so we're good. Sign there
I
and
don't
date.
want to sign for it.
Yeah. They got the sign notary up on the window and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
So do my office. You just sign.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Now I'm thinking like, okay, when I get
Every
my
bank
spot,
has the right to
Oh, Mike,
sell
you
your
gotta-
loan.
you
That's
gotta
what
use this office
servicing
for now.
transfer is.
He
Obviously,
actually
nothing
said I
that
could-
changes
he
how
actually
much
said I
you
could
pay
use
them
the
up
office
to
for
whom you pay them up.
Yeah.
So they have the right to
Do
do
the
that.
sign
Sign there and date.
come to the office.
Yeah.
So once again, the bank has to redisclose all their terms and items, and so this is kind of rehashing the fees that you already saw on the front page. So this is the title insurance fee you already saw, the recording fees. So once again, just kind of redisclosing those to you. Sign here and date. At some point, you should have given them consent to release your social security number. Once again, sign here, date there. This is is a W-9, so it keeps allow you to pay off the interest on your paid loan. So make sure that is correct here.
It is.
Signature here. Don't worry about the dates. Pre-dated. So another copy of your loan application. Like I said, I've learned the hard way not to determine whether these duplicates are on accident or on purpose.
Okay.
So once again, this is another copy of your loan application. Sign here for me, no date. Initial here, one of those pages you have to initial and sign. Initial here.
I would sign your lightweight.
Initial here. Full signature date. Make sure you date neat, please.
Pay attention.
Dates, numbers, not
Yeah. See, that's just regular paper, but I don't know if they want them to sign on big paper now or not. Because when I saw it, it looked like it was the regular legal size paper.
Yeah.
So this is a form that we need to fill out. So just start from the top, go to the bottom. It's very self-explanatory. It's called a statement of information. Start from the top, go to the bottom. And print above the line is answer the questions that form is asking.
And that's the notary book right there.
Full middle
So
name.
I guess you gotta have receipts.
Exactly what that's asking.
Sign,
Please
so
get them.
it goes together. So if you pull up this, what is it, notary? So pull up over there. Notary. Yeah, right there. Yeah, so that's what you need to do. You gotta go there. And it says become a notary. So you gotta pay $50 for the insurance, which was that paper that you just brought over here to me. That's the bond paper, and then you gotta buy this. So you gotta buy. Yeah. No, go down. Go down.
Oh, okay.
So that's like $80-something. So if you get that, you know, you're gonna need that anyway. So whenever you guys ready to do it, if you get I don't know if it's together, people. I think it's gonna be separate. So it's gonna cost some money.
I gotta get my person and got the private school, but she probably wouldn't have to do her own. But eventually, she may want to. I don't think she has to come. So
Okay.
she might. You know, you learned it.
Start from the top and go to the bottom. These don't relevant. Just put.
So that's why doing it with this loan signing thing could probably get us activity.
Do I need to write a no
You know what I
children
mean?
or not?
Put none. Yes.
Because they ain't paying you much. Because I think they ain't paying you much because they screw up, they gotta do it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're gonna pay you $75 if you screwed up.
Exactly.
But $20 is
Full signature.
But then we
And then
get
just your cell phone's
those.
adequate.
And then we'll pick our loan signing places. Because if you're here and I'm here, it's kind of like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Perfect.
But, you know,
So I notarize 4
different
documents.
places.
I need 4 documents to acknowledge that fact. So sign on these 4 X's. These are the 4 documents I notarize specifically: a deed of trust, errors and omissions agreement, occupancy statement, and signature affidavit. So you sign those 4 for me, please. Every time you sign a piece of paper that I need to notarize, you need to acknowledge it in my book. So that's why it's 4 different line items. And right thumbprint on each box that you sign, so push straight down. Right thumbprint here. Re-ink that, please. Right thumbprint here. Re-ink that, please. Right thumbprint here. And then one last on the bottom.
So that's the book.
In case you ever go to prison, they can match those.
That's right. So that's the book that they giving you.
So I got to make sure we didn't miss anything.
Counter page $1, $2, $3, $4, $5.
Flip through like this.
Yeah.
Do you have a copy scanner here by any chance?
I do.
Could you give me a photocopy of this, please? I need to get to the render.
Can you take a picture of your phone?
I don't know. Maybe you can, but I'm thinking. I'd rather have it and just put it in the pile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Based off that, I'd probably have a scanner in my car.
Yeah.
If your copy sheet isn't working, I can always take a picture with my phone. Whatever's easiest for you.
Okay, I guess I'll turn it on.
Okay, you know, I'll just get a photocopy with my phone.
Just answer my question right there. Take a picture of your phone.
It's just as easy, so they can have that ID back.
Okay.
I'd be like, I gotta take a rest.
Your date's a little funky on that. I just want to err on the side of caution. Make sure you don't have to do that again. So let me just have you re-sign that if that's okay. Sign here and date, right on the right there, date. Just make sure that date's very legible.
Okay.
And the date right there, make sure it's legible.
So you always got a backup one
Yeah.
because they got
I
it
know,
stuck.
so I double checked just to
But they
make
screwed
sure.
up on the second one.
Yeah.
I always make the joke. I got one job. That's not to see you again.
It's like you
Perfect. And we are finished. Thank you so much for your time today, Mrs. Wells. So you have a copy of everything you signed. That's what this is for.
Okay.
And we're done.
That's everything that's in here?
That is correct.
Great. Thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
And that concludes a loan signing by Mark. I teach the loan signing system. There's a few things I want to go over that maybe you didn't notice. You rewatched this a few times, but if you notice, you're at 3 stacks. And like I teach in class, is that, there should be a stack done where all the loan documents that don't need a notarization go in the finished pile. And if you notice, I had a 3rd stack here. All these were the papers that had to be notarized. So it allows me never to miss a piece of paper that I need to stamp. So what the system teaches you is to put it in a 3rd stack. And then if you also noticed, as she was filling out documents, I was notarizing them. Once again, making the 45-minute loan signing system efficient. So as she's signing, I'm notarizing. And the last thing I really wanted you to notice is that the form, the statement of information in particular, I put over here, but I actually had her fill that out while I was filling out the notary journal, once again, trying to maximize efficiency. What a lot of times notaries do is they'll take the statement of information and they'll have them fill it out as they're going through the loan documents instead of trying to do 2 things at once. So once again, part of the loan signing system is to help you create the most efficient way of getting a loan signer in and out of the appointment, and that also includes your ability to notarize the paperwork in front of the borrower. So if you notice, I was able to do the whole entire signing, notarize all 5 pieces of paper that need a notary, and fill my journal in, all while she was still working, maximizing my time and effort. And lastly, when I was going through the documents to double check signatures, what I was also doing at the very end, if you notice I was pointing, that's my system on the notary pages to make sure that I didn't miss a date, I didn't miss an initial, or I didn't miss a stamp. So not only am I double checking her dates or her signatures, I'm also checking my work. So it gives me a double protection that I didn't miss any stamps. I dated my documents correctly just as well as the borrower did. So once again, I'm Mark. I teach the loan signing system. Thank you for watching my actual loan signing.
35 minutes, baby. Out of there.